I'll come to a few more political points a little later, but during the course of the interview, he also talks about the humble beginnings. And then he had in the initial years of his life, how he started his journey in Kolkata, and he grew up under a very strict father. He makes a mention of that, who made him work for a monthly stipend of 400 rupees. And then he describes all that in the interview, that he didn't have any fancy toys, no spoiled upbringing, and all this talk about fancy cars is exaggerated. And then he says that I drove a second-hand standard Herald. Would people believe when Vijay Mallya talks about this? What is the truth of his humble beginnings? Did he have such a humble and a down-to-earth beginning as what he has described?
That's what he claims, but it doesn't alter anything at all. If he had a humble beginning, yeah, great. I mean, in the sense that maybe he learned his life lessons much earlier than children of other businessmen did. And I assume, from what I've heard, that his father, Mr. Vijay Mallya, was a very upright person, and he was very careful with money. And then please do remember that when you say careful, doesn't mean he was stingy. It means that he built an empire, which he gave to Dr. Mallya. And one should not take away credit from Mr. Vijay Mallya, nor should we take away credit from Dr. Vijay Mallya as well, because whatever that he was handed over, he built it 10 times bigger. Look at the kind of market capitalization. Look at the kind of foray into several other sectors. He, for example, buying Mangalore Chemical and Fertilizers, the kind of acquisitions he did, Shaw Wallace, the airline that he floated, the media empire that he built, and the fact that his liquor business was at one point of time, I'm sure it is even now, the United Spirits market share was around 60%. United Breweries market share was around 60%. The Kingfisher brand that he personally advertised and was the brand ambassador for that. There was a lot of hard work that went into it, and more than anything else, you got to give credit to him for the fact that liquor business, until he came into being, until he handled those businesses, was seen as something very dark and something that had a very secretive nature to it, and how it funded political parties and all that. He took that out and made it a very respectable kind of brand. He went to IIM campus, he went to IIT campus, recruited people. He had a management council which consisted of some of the best brains in the country, IIM guys, IIT guys, engineers, and all that stuff. And they themselves, whenever they left the companies, they have themselves become CEOs of other companies. So he ran the ship very well, very professionally. There's no doubt about it. Right?
No, but was the 2008 global financial crisis the main reason for his airlines to go down? And as he has said, that he went to Pranab Mukherjee, who was then the finance minister. He said he wanted to downsize, but he stopped him from downsizing. He promised that the banks will support him. And that's how the problems began. Now, how much truth to that? Did actually Pranab Mukherjee ask him not to downsize? What is the truth behind it? Now, if he says Pranab Mukherjee is not alive to even counter or admit what he's saying.
So look at it. Let me tell you something. So he may have gone and talked to Pranab Mukherjee, who must have told him that, don't worry, if you reduce your operations, there will be job losses. We'll continue to give you funding. Don't worry about that. I agree. Maybe that is true. But he did downsize. There is a press statement from Kingfisher Airlines around that time saying that they have deferred the induction of 32 Airbus A320 aircraft. Okay, for the next 2 years, and citing that there's overcapacity. One, they said there is overcapacity in the sector. The other thing, they said that they're having problems sustaining their operations, and therefore they have decided to defer buying these aircraft. Now, when you say that you have overcapacity, and then you say that I wanted to downsize, isn't it contradictory statements that you're making, right? uh, if there is overcapacity and the fact that you're not doing well, and if you say you're not doing well, and then go ahead and then defer inducting aircraft, these are pure, simple business decisions that you're taking, right? After 10 or 12 years or 15 years later, you say that, I should have downsized.
No, but
If he
he's
wanted to
criticized.
downsize, if he wanted to downsize, he could have downsized anyway, because these are business decisions at the end of the day.
Right. No, but he also blames the foreign direct investment, which was not started in time. He says that he had already spoken to Etihad Airways, who was ready to invest in Kingfisher Airlines, but government didn't do that. And it was only after he fled that, the market was open for foreign direct investment. So how much truth to that when he blames the government for its policy on the foreign direct investment?
So let's assume you're playing cricket or you get into a football stadium to play a game. You can't complain saying once you start playing the game, you can't say, you should change these rules. This is not the right thing to do. This is not the way to do it. The other team is also playing the game along with you, which means that there are other airlines which are also playing the game, playing in that sector. It's not that it's only confined to you. There are the same rules and regulations apply to other airlines as well. It is not that there was a bias against Kingfisher Airlines. If they didn't get a foreign partner, the other airline also did not get a foreign partner. All right. If they did not get certain concessions, the other airlines also did not get certain concessions. Right. So all this happened. You knew the sector, you did a SWOT analysis, you did a business plan, and then you entered the sector. You knew that when it comes to the airline sector, there is very less control you have. You realize that the fuel prices are not something that you can control.
No, right? But was it solely because he had a very lavish lifestyle, and people did accuse him that you are actually leaving no stone unturned in living your full lavish lifestyle, but your own employees of Kingfisher Airlines, they are not even getting their salaries. So how much truth to that because of his lavish lifestyle and way of living, it's basically the employees were not given justice because of that?
I do agree that employees at the later part did not get their salaries. It was very difficult for them. I do understand that, but he claims that the banks closed the tap, and therefore he could not go ahead and continue to pay the employees. But we should also realize that if you do not pay, if you default, the banks will obviously, how long will they keep funding the airline? They have to recover the money, right? You're not returning the money. The questions are going to be asked at the board level, at whatever level, with the finance ministry or the RBI. Is going to pull you up and say, how come Kingfisher Airlines is not repaying you the money, right? These questions are asked. So based on that, they went and closed the tap. How long do you think you could have gone around saying that, they didn't? I mean, you see, please understand, Kingfisher Airlines was being run by Vijay Mallya, not by a consortium of banks. So the onus of paying the salary rests with Kingfisher Airlines and not with a consortium of banks. You need to have your own money. I can't go ahead and run a business on just on loans and then say, sorry, I can't pay you anymore. I can't repay the loan.
Absolutely. In fact, he also made a mention of how he informed Arun Jaitley, who was a finance minister then before leaving. He said that I went from Parliament straight to finance minister's office, informed him that I'm leaving, and there were no legal orders to hold him back. So he was justifying in a way that, he didn't tell that he did go abroad, but only after informing the finance minister. Now, what is the truth about that? He also talks about how a Congress MP knew about it, and he spoke about it that Arun Jaitley had met Vijay Mallya. Now, I don't think Congress has really reacted to this, except that Arun Jaitley allowed Vijay Mallya to go or let him flee. What is the truth behind that?
He left for London after the banks had moved the Supreme Court to stop him. The CBI had issued a lockout notice, lookout circular, but later downgraded it to report departure notice. But the fact is, CBI actually admitted it was an error, and legally he did not abscond, and all that is there. But as far as what he talked to Vijay Mallya and whether Vijay Mallya gave him the permission to go abroad, but I will not go into all that. What I'll go is by the press statement that he issued. He issued a press statement saying that he keeps going abroad for work, for meeting, for personal reasons and all that, and he keeps coming back. And if there is any court case that is against him, if any other court summons him to the court, he'll be the first one to come back and then present himself to the court, right? After having said that, he puts out another press statement a month later, or maybe 15 days later, whatever. He says that I fear that I will get arrested. I fear that there will be harassment, right? Now the fact is that what happened during those 15 days? It's obviously because of whatever the CBI did, the Enforcement Directorate did. But if you're so clear, if you think that you're not defrauded, if you think that that you're not violating any norms, why do you fear that they will arrest you, right? At that time, it was a civil case, right? It was something. It was not a criminal case. He had a battery of lawyers. It's not that he represented himself in the courts. He had a battery of lawyers, and he could have gone ahead and defended himself. Some of the best lawyers worked for him. Some of the best lawyers in the country worked for him. And the government, why did he think that the government would be vindictive?
True.
Right? So there are a lot of such questions that go unanswered in the recent interview.
So all in all, does it look? So all in all, does this interview look like a stage-managed interview, a PR exercise, or a sponsored interview? And then it goes on for 4 hours. It's not 1 hour or 1.5 hours. It's a 4 hours long interview, which anybody would think that what on earth would he be doing with a 4 hours interview? And why would a YouTuber or why would a journalist interview him for 4 hours? Maybe not in one sitting, in multiple sittings as that interview has been taken. But what has it finally achieved? What has this interview or the podcast finally achieved in terms of what Vijay Mallya wants to tell the people?
I don't know how the social media influencers work, and they have Instagram and Twitter and all that kind of stuff, and maybe they use it differently at different points of time. I don't know how this entire ecosystem works, but 4 hours is too long. And whatever that you need to say, you can say that in an hour's time. That's number one. Number two, what it is set out to achieve, I have no idea. I don't know whether he's building a platform to return. If he's building a platform to return, and if he's now defending himself, and he believes that now the money has been given, and therefore, and there was an interview with the Prime Minister also who apparently mentioned in that interview, saying that they have recovered more than what was due and all that. So he, I think, believes that he's more comfortable, safe, and he expects, anyway, won't want to return to their homeland, right? So he's always been a Bangalore boy, and why would he want to come back to Bangalore? No, and then, RCB has won the IPL. Things he believes everything is happening right? So maybe this is his way of saying that, sort of, please let your guard down. Let me get my passport. I want to return to my home country. but this is just, I'm just speculating about it. Maybe that's exactly what he wants to do. There is this.
No, but what about that $1 million question that will he return to India? Does he want to actually return to India? That's the point.
So the thing is that there was a court case in London, and the lawyer did say that he has sought asylum in London, and that's the reason why even the UK government has been quoting that they cannot say what exactly is the issue, but they are not. They are processing his asylum request probably, and therefore that's the reason why they can't extradite him back into India. All right, but it's also up to Dr. Mallya in case he wants to come back. He has to, take the asylum request back. He has to make a formal request to the government of India saying that please revoke, get my passport back, and then I would like to come back. He needs to do 2-3 things of these, and probably then he'll be able to return if that is his intention.
Well, we do not know what the real intention behind is, but whatever he has spoken in this interview are many, many things which he has already spoken about, and it has been mentioned earlier. But did he pick on the timing, which was so appropriate after the RCB victory? That's what everyone is talking about, and he's chosen the right moment to talk about himself, to talk about politics, talk about his intentions of whether he wants to return to India, and also talk about the powerhouse called Virat Kohli. He also spoke about that as well. So maybe he's chosen on a perfect timing to give a peek into his life and what he wants and how to clarify himself again. And after also having broken his silence after 9 years. Thank you so much, Giri Prakash, for joining on HW. Thank you.
Thank you, Neelu. Thank you very much.